Saludos mi gente y bienvenido a un programa más de Me Gustan los Deportes junto a Baerga y sus amigos. Este es su amigo de siempre, Arnold Palillito Santiago, dándole la bienvenida. Tenemos otro programita bueno para usted. Tenemos entrevista hoy, así que usted ya sabe, tiene que echarse para atrás, acomodarse bien ahí y dejárselo saber a todo el mundo. Así que derechea, comparte este video con todo el mundo, dele like, haga lo que usted quiera con este video, pero tenemos una entrevista increíble. Este individuo que está aquí con nosotros hoy, solamente 6 individuos como él en las grandes ligas, en la historia de las grandes ligas han logrado algo que usted aquí se va a enterar. Así que mire, déjeselo saber a todo el mundo que Me Gustan los Deportes junto a Baerga y sus amigos tiene un programa especial hoy para ustedes esta noche. Así que le vamos a dar la bienvenida a mi partner del estudio, el ex Grandes Ligas, Carlos Baerga. Saludos, Carlos.
Saludos, Palillito, y saludos a toda la gente que está conectada con nosotros y los que se van a conectar, porque hoy tenemos un show espectacular con un gran amigo que me recibió en Nueva York cuando yo llegué después de aquel cambio en el 96, Palillito, que nunca me voy a olvidar. Yo no quería llegar allí, pero este fue una gran persona. Franco, de verdad que fue de gran ayuda para mí cuando llegué allá. Y ¿sabes qué? Que muchas cosas buenas han pasado en el día de hoy, que aquí es que te vas a enterar. Me Gustan los Deportes. Mantente en sintonía con nosotros.
Definitivo, así que ya usted lo sabe, esta es una buena excusa para usted coger la bolsita de tostito, la salsa tostito preferida de ustedes, para que, mire, usted se pueda sentar donde usted quiere, en la mesa, en la cama, en el sofá, donde usted le dé la gana. Esta es la excusa buena para el día de hoy. Esta noche usted se va a comer su bolsita, bueno, no las bolsitas, se come las papitas de la bolsita, lógico, de los tostitos. Sabe que la familia Santiago y nosotros nos encanta la salsa de aguacate con pique, pero salsa regular, la de queso, la que usted quiera. Usted solamente asegúrese de coger su bolsa y su salsa tostito, porque usted ya sabe que cualquier excusa es buena para comer tostito. Y si usted necesita un plan médico en Puerto Rico, Baerga tiene el tuyo.
Es así, es First Medical, el plan que tiene la cubierta para ti y tu familia. Es por eso, ¿sabes qué? Que First Medical tiene el plan directo, libre, ¿sabes qué? De selección, con un 69.21 mensual. ¿Sabes qué? Con una amplia red de proveedores, con el 100% de hospitales, beneficios en farmacias, visión, dental y seguro de vida. ¿Sabes qué? También los hospitales Metro Pavía Health System y Metro Pavía Clinic te van a ayudar. Llama ahora al 888-801-0801 y suscríbete online a firstmedicalpr.com, el plan que te da más, la bandera de salud de Puerto Rico.
Bueno, señores, y siempre recordándole a todos que le damos las gracias por el apoyo que nos dan. Sabemos que estamos en la página nueva Me Gustan los Deportes oficial, pero esto lo puede ver en vivo en el canal de YouTube de Me Gustan los Deportes. También lo puede ver en la página de Carlos Baerga. Así que estamos seguros que usted lo puede ver donde usted lo pueda conseguir, pero corra la voz, déjele saber a todo el mundo, mira, Me Gustan los Deportes, aquella página ya no existe, tenemos que venir para Me Gustan los Deportes oficial, y yo sé que usted lo puede hacer. Corra la voz, porque Molusco le tumbaron la página de Instagram y ustedes están corriendo todo para seguir a Molusco también. Saludos a Jorge Pavón, que no se me olvide, y Ali Guarito, caballito, cogí tu mensaje, gracias, usted es caballete, Ali es bostoniano y siempre está pendiente a lo que pasa con los Medias Rojas de Boston a través de Me Gustan los Deportes oficial. Así que, Vargas, la noticia es tan buena. Vamos a estar hablando de pelota, vamos a estar hablando de par de noticias interesantes, lesiones bastante duras, yo creo. Hay una de ellas que es bien, pero que bien dura. Pero antes que hagamos todo eso, Vargas, yo creo que tenemos que traerle el invitado de la noche de hoy para que usted, mire, se ponga al día. Si usted no sabe quién es el invitado de esta noche, aquí tiene un la como siempre.
Says it with that straight face. Struck him out. So Foster. And the Mets leading now by a score of 8-2 with Lenny Dykstra, the batter. Count of 1 ball and 1 strike. And this ball hit down the first base side. Isaski there and takes it. Did he go? He did. Unbelievable. Good job by Franco. Mitchell's out of there.
That's it. Screwball, and the ball game is over.
Save his 400th game at Shea Stadium. Great story.
Part number 400 in the books for John Franco.
And here is our special guest for tonight's show, John Franco, one of the best closers in the game, one of the best guys in the history of the game. I mean, welcome, bienvenido. Me gustan los deportes junto a Baerga y sus amigos.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
What?
I'm getting a little old, so I got to put my glasses on like you guys. Now I can see you guys. Okay.
What an honor I have to have one of my best friends in this game that God gave me the opportunity to play with him in 1996. And this guy was the one of the guys that opened his arm when I got traded to over there. When I don't want to be in New York, this guy made me, to have fun in there, and I really like it, really enjoy it. But you know what? The thing that I can say about this guy, what a heart this guy have. Come through all the time for us, never say no, always say, let's close this game, and we're going to close the deal. And this guy make it happen for the New York Mets, and it's an honor for me, to have you here.
Thanks, Carlos. Good to see you. It's been a long time since I've seen you. Last time I saw you, we were both skinny. So
It's true. I got some weight.
That's what happened when you get the rice and bean going 24/7, Mofongo and all that stuff.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Johnny, where are you from originally?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said, Carlos.
Where are you from? Where are you from?
I'm born and raised in Brooklyn, New York City. Lived here all my life. I live in Manhattan right now with my wife and my youngest daughter. My two older children live in Manhattan also, but they live in different sections of the city. I've been here since I was a little bambino. So now I'm 60 years old, and I still love. There's nothing like New York City. Like I told you when you first got here, you'll love it here. There's even during the tough times, during 9/11, during the pandemic. The city always finds a way to come together. New Yorkers are tough, and we always try to stick together. So New York is where you want to be, Carlos. Cleveland was nice, but New York is better.
Yeah, you better sneak that in. The Big Apple. You better be in the Big Apple too. And let me be quiet because I live in Boston, Massachusetts. I need to be quiet. I don't want to say too much. John, growing up, because we know that you weren't a tall guy. I mean, so I want you to tell the kids and everybody that is watching, how was your upbringing with sports? Did you only play baseball? Do you did other stuff? Do you were always a pitcher? How was your upbringing there in New York?
Okay, so in Little League, I was a pitcher. About 11 years old, I started pitching, but I also played shortstop, a left-handed shortstop. So,
they are Dodgers.
Yeah, I used to be able to hit too, Carlos. I used to be able to hit.
Yeah, better than Ray.
So, I played in Little League, then in high school. That's really where I really got excelled and became a really good player. When I didn't pitch in high school, I was a center fielder and I was a leadoff hitter. So I made the all city honors in high school, and then I received a scholarship to St. John's University. And at St. John's, that's when I really learned how to pitch. We had a great pitching coach. His name was Howie Gershberg. He was my pitching coach and Frank Viola's pitching coach. So Frank Viola and I were there together. So in the 3 years that we were there together, we might have lost maybe 6 games in 3 years between Frank and I. And I was the only freshman to ever pitch 2 no-hitters my freshman year. And really had three no-hitters altogether, but 2 my freshman year, and that record still holds at St. John's. But Howie's the one that taught me how to pitch, how to think. In high school, you're just a thrower, and you strike everybody out, and it's easy. But in college, it's a little different. You're facing better hitters, better teams. But going back to high school, I thought I was going to get drafted out of high school, and they were saying that I was too small.
I was going to ask you that, yeah.
Piccolo, too small.
Yeah.
So, and that really disappointed me because I thought I was good enough to get drafted. I really had good high school career, good senior year. And I remember it was a New York Mets scout that told me I was too small. So
Wow.
But now that I look at it, it was probably the best thing for me because I really wasn't ready to play professional baseball. I wasn't big. I was small, skinny. And then when I went to St. John's, I started, doing the weights and learning how to pitch and watching the older classmates, teammates, how they pitched. And then it just, everything fell into suit that way. And then my sophomore year, we went to the College World Series, and we lost in the College World Series. And then my junior year, I got drafted by the Los Angeles Dodgers in the 5th round. Wow. So, and then with the Dodgers, I was with the Dodgers for 2.5 years, and then got traded to the Cincinnati Reds for Rafael Landestoi.
Yes.
Rafael works for the Mets now, so every time,
still for almost 20 years, something like that.
And it's funny because every time I see Rafael now, he says I owe him money because if I didn't get traded, my career, I have to pay him because I had a good career and I made a lot of money. He said, so I have to pay him. Wow. Rafi does a great job with our Dominican team and the kids from the Dominican Republic and down in spring training with all the young Latin players. He's you guys know Rafi. He's a hard worker and he demands respect and teaches the kids how to play the game the right way. So with that, I got traded from Cincinnati, and I was in Cincinnati for 6 years, and Pete Rose was my manager.
Wow.
And great time in Cincinnati, and it was a good place to start because Cincinnati was a small city. They only had one newspaper, 2 newspapers, 1 radio station, almost similar. Cleveland, right, Carlos? They're not really big. not really
have to go through a tough time like that.
Yeah, not really a big newspapers and TVs and stuff, but they loved their baseball there, and went there, and that's before we had the 3 divisions in the interleague. So Cincinnati was in the Western Division. So the 6 years I was there, we finished second place twice. 5 times. Out of the 6 years. So we would have been in the playoffs with the new system now, but unfortunately we wasn't. And then I got traded to the Mets in December of 1989. And I played for the Mets for 15 years. I was the captain for the last 5 years, which is unheard of because usually, as you guys know, a pitcher, especially a relief pitcher, can't be captain, shouldn't be captain. But
I know. It should be Keith Hernandez, Keith Hernandez, position players.
Yeah. Keith Hernandez and Gary Carter were captains before me. And it just shows you that the respect my teammates had for me and the organization to give me the honors of being captain to the organization.
Wow. Johnny, let us go suave. Because you are going so
that's
fast.
good.
I know you had to close.
I think I'm getting in the game. I think I'm getting in the game now.
This guy was like that in the clubhouse. Like that. I've never seen him down like suave. Never. Let me tell you something. Well, the Mets are, they're losing right now. They're losing 7-4. Okay.
Yeah. Be quiet.
I got something. In 1981, when you signed with the Dodgers, that year, Fernando Valenzuela became a star. See, you have that change up before, or you learned that watching him?
Oh yeah, watching him was great. Always with the eyes up in the air. Fernando and I remember Tommy Lasorda saying there's only 2 kinds of people who are the Dodgers and people who want to be the Dodger. So and being that I was Italian, Tommy's really liking to me because he used to tell me, I don't like you because you're Italian. I like you because I'm Italian. He used to tell me. So, but the Dodgers in 81, they won the World Series in 81. I remember.
Yes.
And we were I was in Scottsdale with the instructional league with the Dodgers when they won. And all the minor league guys, we thought we were going to get World Series rings because the Dodgers won too. We got nothing. we got a plane ticket to go home.
That's what I always thought. That we always, when I was in the minor, I was like, Cleveland needs to win the World Series so we get a ring. And then my dad is like, nah, I had to get mine because I made it play in the video. But that's not how it is. I said, but scouts get them. Why can't I get them?
I learned a lot from the Dodgers because Dave Wallace was my pitching coach and Sandy Koufax were pitching coaches. So I learned a lot from Dave Wallace and Sandy Koufax, and it was great to have them. And Sandy Koufax went to the same high school that I went to. So, and they have a pitching award named after him, and I won that pitching award. So, and my father was a Brooklyn fan, and Sandy was from Brooklyn, so it was an honor for me to meet him and work with him, and he taught me a lot about pitching. Just like Dave Wallace is my favorite pitching coach of all time.
Dave Wallace, I mean, for everybody that is hearing here and watching us here in this interview, remember Dave Wallace, guys, in Puerto Rico, was a winter league pitching coach for a long time in Puerto Rico when the Dodgers were with Santurce. My dad was the GM of that team, and that's how I remember the Dodgers was always involved with that, and that's how Kevin Kennedy went to Puerto Rico and managed, and everybody else that was working with the Dodgers. John, when you were with the Dodgers, you were a starter pretty much. I mean, you were not completely a closer or nothing like that. I mean, all of a sudden you get the news that you get traded. First of all, how did it feel to be traded from the Dodgers to whatever the team you were going to go? At that time, you probably thinking, I don't care, I get traded, nothing I could do. I can't stop this. It's going to happen. And how was the transition when you get to that new team that is the Reds, and they tell you you're going to go to the pen?
Well, when I went to the Reds, I was still a starting pitcher because I was in AAA in Albuquerque, and I never met the other guy that was traded with me for Rafael Ensto was a guy named Brett Wise, and he was their top relief pitcher in the minor leagues for the Dodgers. A couple of years later, I was the throw-in pitcher, the extra guy. So, but when I went to Cincinnati, I was still a starting pitcher. I got traded from Albuquerque to Indianapolis. At the end of the year in Indianapolis, they brought up one of their top prospects. The Reds brought up their #1 draft pick. Carlos, you probably remember it. Ron, remember the creature, a big redhead guy. So when they brought Ron up, they put me to the bullpen because when I was a starting pitcher, I was a full energy guy, and not being a big guy. And come the 5th or 6th inning, I used to get tired a lot. So. And I had the type of arm to where I could throw every day. So moving to the bullpen was probably the best thing for me.
They say, are you there, Young?
You there, Young?
Yeah, I'm here. But you guys are throw. You guys throw.
Okay, yeah. All of a sudden, we couldn't hear you. We're like, oh, okay, what's going on?
Yeah.
Hey, we're live, guys. We're live.
But the best thing that happened was when Cincinnati moved you to the pen because you went to AAA in 1994 and you just spent 6 games and then you got called up. Tell me about when they call you up to the big leagues. They call you up.
Well, it's funny. I got called up to the big leagues on April 24th, and I never forget that day because that's my wife's birthday. So I got called up on my wife's birthday, and it was called up in Atlanta. And I was with the Reds had moved from Indianapolis to Wichita, and we just got back from a road trip. And the minor league manager was Gene Doucette. Called me up, and he said, "Hey, you just got called to the big leagues. You got to get on a plane and go to Atlanta." And I thought it was one of my teammates playing a joke on me, so I hung up on him. And then he called back again. And he started cursing at me. Then I knew it was him. So I said, okay. I met the team in Atlanta. I had everything I owned. I remember going into the lobby, and our equipment manager, Bernie Stowe, was there. And he said, you plan on staying a while? And I said, yeah. I don't want to go back to Wichita. Or there's nothing in Wichita. McDonald's closes at 7 o'clock. I knew that was bad. So, and unfortunately for me, that night I got in the game, and my first hitter I faced was, I believe it was Claudel Washington, and he got a base hit off of me, and I gave up a run. I had bases loaded with 1 out, and Dale Murphy was coming up, and I remember, and Dave Concepcion came to the mound when the pitching coach came out, and Davey said, "Relax and have him hit it to me." And I was like, I wish it was that easy, right? So I threw a couple of changeups. Dale Murphy did. He hit a ground ball to Davey, double play. We're out of the inning. I run off the field. I go up to the dugout. I go up to the bathroom. Bleh, I throw up all
over. Hey, that's why we like to ask the players what happened that day when you got called up. Your first at bat. Always Parellito asks, tell me about your first at bat. Tell me about your first game or something like that. Yeah. Because everybody get nervous. The people
Yeah,
think, yeah, it's fun. That's what we want to be. But
Yeah.
it's something that when you see so many people, you're in front of a player that you say, wow, these are my idols. And I'm playing here. Wow, that's special, man.
It's so special because, you know, I grew up watching Dave Concepcion and Ken Griffey Sr. Tony Perez was my teammate. Dan Dreesen, Buddy Bell. These guys were my teammates. And then that same year, Pete Rose became my manager. So I was like, oh, my God, these are the guys I watched growing up as a kid, and now I'm their teammates, you know?
Wow.
But, you know, that first game, I was very, very nervous. And then I'll never forget my first at-bat. I got up, you know. I haven't hit since high school. And I got up and I'm like, oh, my God. And I was facing, I forgot what, I think it was Tom Niedenfuhrer from the Dodgers.
Oh, you still remember?
Yeah, I'm sure I remember because he threw me an 0-2 slider. He threw me a slider. Do you believe he threw me a slider? When I saw him after the game, because we were roommates with the Dodgers, I said, I can't believe you threw me a slider, man. You got to give me a fastball so I can hit it. So I struck out, of course, but it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun being up there.
Hey, after you finished that first year with the Reds, and you had a good year. I mean, your ERA was below 3. I know that back then, still a reliever, closer wasn't really something that every team was using. I mean, when you were ready to come back for spring training for the next year, what did the Reds decided to tell you? I mean, we're going to use you as a closer. We're going to use you as a middle reliever. What did they tell you for you to get ready? Because I know that year was one that you ended up having another great year.
Yeah. They really didn't say nothing to me. You know, they just said, you know, go to spring training, just do your work. Because really, you know, as a first-year player, as a young player, there really is no lock that you're going to make the team because you still have options, right? You know, you have 3 options. They don't have to take you. But being that I was left-handed, it helped me out a lot because we had another left-hander named Bill Shear, left-handed relief pitcher. But they didn't say nothing to me. And once the season started, I don't know if you guys remember Ted Power. He was the closer, and before Ted Power was one of my the guy that I really, really look up to was Tom Hume, a right-handed relief pitcher, and he won the Rolaids relief pitcher with the Reds also. So Tom Hume was one of my favorite people. I used to sit on the plane next to him and just pick his brain and talk to him about pitching and how to act, and you know, how to act on the field, how to act off the field. So you know, that spring I went to spring training, and once the season started, everything just fell into place. You know, Teddy struggled, and then gradually I moved into closing. I think I won 12 games that year.
Yeah, 12-3.
12 saves.
Yeah.
So, the only reason why I know that because I looked at my baseball card before. That's all.
Hey, let me tell you something. I played with Ted Power in Cleveland. He came to us with a mustache. You remember he used to have a mustache like that, like me. Hey, Parillito used to be like me with you know. When he had a mustache, I remember what an awesome teammate.
That awesome porn star movie.
Yeah, porn star movie.
Yes, it was. Yeah. You know, in Cincinnati, we weren't allowed to have facial hair. You weren't allowed to have facial hair.
Wow.
So, when I got traded to the Mets, I had a mustache.
Okay, you can have whatever you want with the Mets. You're in New York. You can have whatever you want.
No,
I got a question. After that year, you made your first All-Star game. Tell me about, you know, because I know that you was a dream come true, come to the big leagues, but you have success right away. When I see your ERA, it's amazing. 2.61, 218, 294, 252, 157, 3.1, 253, 293. That's dominate for many years in a row, especially when you don't throw more than 95, 96, 97. You know, like other closers throw and stuff like that. You was a different kind of closer. But you tell me about it. You know, made the first All-Star game and be in that clubhouse with those kind of players.
Well, it's funny. When I made my first All-Star game, Tommy Lasorda was the manager.
Wow.
And it was in Houston. And I never forget, my roommate at the time, when I was with the Dodgers, was their #1 pick named Dave Anderson. And I told Dave Anderson, I said to Dave, I said, tell Tommy I have a $25,000 bonus if I make the All-Star game. I'll give him some money. So Tommy, I get picked for the All-Star game, and Tommy says, where's my $10,000? And Carlos, I swear to God, up until Tommy died last year, every time I saw him, he's like an elephant. He didn't forget. You owe me $10,000 for the All-Star game.
he's still out here.
Yeah, but
oh man, that's nice.
That game was in Houston. I didn't get to pitch in that game. They didn't use me in that game. So, but I was in that dugout with a lot of guys that I grew up with, watching, and it was just, Ozzie Smith. I had to pinch myself, and in the All-Star game, Carlos, they have all the balls on the table, and you got to sign the balls and the bats and this and that. And I'm signing the balls next to all these guys that I grew up with, and I said, "Wow, I finally made it, man! I'm one of these guys, And,
awesome.
it was just great. It was just great. Really,
really. If you would have paid Tommy before the game, then you could have been in the game at least for 1 hour, man. Okay. Johnny, you can't. But I do.
Pay him with money or pay him with food, one or the other,
I remember. I still do. I collect baseball cards, and I remember a baseball card that back then they used to do baseball card for the All-Star game too, and it was you and Fernando Valenzuela in the same baseball card, and it was nice, because you used to be with the Dodgers, and there was people saying, you imagine if you could still have John Franco in the bullpen and Fernando Valenzuela. I don't know, John. I'm gonna tell you one thing. If that would have happened, if you guys would have been with the Dodgers, I think Fernando would have lasted a little longer because Tommy just had him there every day, 8 innings, 9 innings. And I think if you would have a John Franco in the back, I think you would have saved Fernando a few innings.
Back then, there was no pitch count.
Wow.
You go until you can't throw no more. Now 50, 60 pitches for 5 innings for a starter, that's a quality start. Not back then. You throw 100, 115.
Palillito, I'll let you ask me that question. Let's do it. Let's start it. Talk to him, Palillo. Talk to him.
John, I know that baseball has to evolve. I know that. But I think the game right now, and we would like for you to tell us how you feel about it, because everybody that comes here, we talk to them, and they say whatever they feel about it, and just be honest. You can just be as honest as you have to be. And
I think the game,
I don't know, the evolve of the game, I hate it. I hate this thing of 4 inning, 5 inning, just the bullpen, matchups, a lot of matchup. I know back then there was matchup, but now it's like, oh my God, 3 pitches for just to get 1 out. Or 3 pitches just to try to get 1 out, or I don't know. And then all these infield chief and all these stuff they do, launch angle and all that. How John Franco felt, because you got to at least play in 3 decades, so you got to see a lot of different things. And when you got out of the game, there was already things happening that you probably were going like, I think it's good that I'm going out.
Yeah, I don't think I would have been too happy with the shift. The shift or coming in extra innings with a man on second base already with nobody out. That's that's little league. That's little league stuff. Yeah. And now double headers are 7 innings. I think the analytics is good. You could use some analytics, but you still have to have the feel for the game. You have to have the eyes, the heart. You have to. If a manager's got to know his players, just because on a sheet of paper it says so and so is hitting 300, but those could be 3 infield hits, 3 for 10 infield singles. So I think the analytics are good. I think there's a lot of video. I think sometimes there's too much information for the players. They think too much instead of just going out there and having fun. It's hard for me to watch the game. I watch the Mets all the time. I watch, if there's games on TV, I watch. But when it goes into that extra innings and there's a man on second base with the new rules now and a double headers, 7 innings, the pitcher, the strategy of the game. Nobody bunts, nobody hit and runs, nobody steals no more. It's all either home run or you strike out. So, and then all the shifts. If I was a hitter and they were shifting on me, I learned how to bunt. I get at least 10, 15 hits all the time. Nobody wants to do it.
And John, I'm asking you because that's one of the things that we keep saying. I work here with the baseball academy. We got 18 kids in that. From 7 all the way to 16 years old. But the way people are teaching for the last 15 years at this level, they're pretty much teaching to pull. You have to pull. You're not a pull hitter. So, we do want these guys in the big leagues to do it, to kind of bunt, go the other way. But, John, for some reason, baseball hasn't noticed, and these people hasn't noticed we're teaching them to do this. How the heck they're gonna change? It's not gonna change.
And then once they come to the big leagues, even in the minor leagues, Carlos, your son played in the minor leagues. My son played in the minor leagues. They weren't allowed to bunt. They're not allowed to bunt until after like the 7th inning, and then you're allowed to bunt. And of course, there was a certain percentage. If a guy was on base with 1 out, he had a 70% chance of scoring, and with 2 outs, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. You know, when I took to Cincinnati, Pete Rose. You used to watch Pete Rose take batting practice. And he switch hitter like you, Carlos, right?
Yes.
You get up, right-handed, hit 10 balls to right field, 10 balls in the middle, 10 balls left field. Left-handed, and the same thing. He sprayed the ball all around. You don't see batting practice. What do you see now? Guys trying to hit home runs all the time.
All the time.
All the time. And
They don't have a war habit. They don't know how to prepare themselves for the game. They just want to hit homers and everything changed. But you know what? Now you're talking, listening to you. Now I'm thinking about, what about you putting the closer in the 10 with men on second base, a jam over third base, like today. The Minnesota Twins lost the game without a hit in the 12th. Amarillito.
I mean, Johnny, I know, John. I mean, so people know about it, and the kids and the fans. We got fans here that go crazy, and they hate me because I'm a Boston guy. I'm a Red Sox fan, whatever.
Well, I'm sorry the Mets beat you in '86. Sorry about
that. Hey, we just had a little trouble. You know, we forgot. The analytics didn't tell us that we had to tell Bill Buckner, stay on the dog, don't go. It happened. But I mean, this what's going around, John. You were one of the most confident guy when you got up there. You were going to do your job, and nobody could beat you and all that. And that's the mentality. I mean, there's no way you could say over 400 games if you don't do that in your career. We know that. But how it has to be different when you're just going out. You're warming up, and you already know there's a guy in second.
Yeah, it's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. You know, the pitcher is at a disadvantage. You know, the game they're making it for all offense. You know, the home runs, this and that. You put a man on second base. If I come in the game with a man on second base and I give up a bloop hit and we lose, I'm gonna be fighting somebody, because you know that's my living right there. You know, so it's not giving the pitcher a fair opportunity. And you know, they talk about speeding up the game. Maybe if the umpires called more strikes and work on the strike zone, that might help too. You know, but and the guys would challenge a little bit more. A lot of guys come in, you know, 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, 3-1, 3-2, nitpicking instead of just trying to challenge them. So,
but John, they don't have to challenge just because they know they're gonna be there 1 or 2 innings. They have no idea. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to face these guys, so I just walk in. I don't care if I get behind, and that's why when you guys were playing, it's like, man, if you don't throw strike, if you don't get people out, if you don't challenge guys, you're gonna go back to the minor leagues. I mean,
you're out of there.
Somebody else that will do it. But right now, it's like, don't worry, go out there and try to do your best. Oh, 45 pitches. All right, we're done.
Yeah.
Johnny, you are one of the best relief pitchers of the game. You was in 4 All-Star games. You was 2 times Raleigh Relief Man of the Year, the reliever of the year, 3 times safe leader in 88, 1990, 94. You got traded from Cincinnati to the New York Mets. But something happened in the Mets. You know, when you guys put together, you know, a team to go to the playoff, to the postseason, and to the World Series. And that was something that I know that you was missing, you know, in there to go to a World Series. How important it was for you, how happy you was.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because when I got traded from Cincinnati in 1990, they went to the World Series. So and then I got traded to the Mets in 1986 and 1988. They were the World Series and the playoffs. And me, when I got there, it was nothing. You know, nothing. until 1999, Bobby Valentine became our manager. He put a good team together. We had a pretty good bunch of guys. We fell short to the Atlanta Braves. Atlanta always gave us a hard time. You remember that, Carlos?
Yeah.
We had a lot of hard games, fought games, close games, but we always found a way to not being able to beat Atlanta.
Harry Jones.
In 2000, we we played the Giants and we played the Cardinals because the Cardinals beat Atlanta. So we were kind of glad that the Cardinals beat Atlanta.
Yeah.
But to get to the playoffs in '99 was like my 17th year. Finally, I got into the playoffs, and then in 2000, the World Series. And I got the only win in that game in the World Series too against the Yankees. But all those years playing in New York and watching the Yankees win, you get a little jealous, but you want to be there. But I wouldn't change it for the world. But obviously, I would love to have more opportunities to play in the playoffs and World Series.
And so people know, John. I mean, now that you were talking about when you got traded in '89, that passed to the Mets, and then of course the Reds made it to the World Series in 1990. I mean, when that trade happened, what was your mindset? Because you were going back then in '89, the Reds were 12 games under 500.
Right.
They had some young guys coming up, and things could happen. But you went to the Mets that they finished that year 12 games over 500. So I'm thinking that probably John is saying, well, I mean, it's sad that I had to leave Cincinnati, but I did so many good things there. But I'm going home, and I'm going home to a good team. So to wait into '99, I don't think that was in your mind that you were going to wait to '99 to wait it somewhere.
No, I didn't think so at all. I thought we were going to get in the playoffs a lot when they got traded to the Mets. I grew up a Met fan. When I played in Cincinnati, Paul O'Neill, Barry Larkin, Ron Oster, Ken Griffey Sr., all those guys were from Cincinnati playing for their home team. And I said, boy, I would love an opportunity to play for my home team, the team that I rooted for. To come home and play for the Mets and be in the same locker room with the Tom Seaver was there and the guys that I watched growing up, and finally get to meet Tom Seaver in spring training and became good friends with Tom Seaver. It was a dream come true. And as a kid, that's all you could ask for, an opportunity. And I got an opportunity to come home. For 15 years I played here, so it was kind of easy for me and easy for my family because you don't have to uproot your family. Your family can stay in the house. They just pack a bag for 2 weeks and go to spring training and so on and so forth. So it was a great experience for the 15 years that I was here playing with them.
Johnny, what happened in May 11 in 1996 against the Chicago Cubs on that John Franco Day? You have
What
happened in that day, bro?
We had a little team fight. I remember Pete Harnish was the pitcher, and he threw in or he hit one of the Cub players, and then he was batting, and a pitch came close to him, and he was good friends with Scott Service, who's the manager of the Mariners, the Seattle now.
Yeah.
And they were just going back and forth. And the next thing you know, Pete just threw a punch at Scott. And then all craziness went crazy. It was crazy. Both benches were in the dugouts. Who's this? Somebody hit me over here. Blah, 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 blah. And I never forget, it was John Franco Day. My daughter and her friends were there for her birthday party.
Oh, my God.
And I was, if I look back now, I wish I would have never happened. But I'm a team guy, and somebody messes with one of my teammates, I'm going to jump in there and try to help out as much as I can. And I never forget when everything was broken up, my uniform was all out of whack. I had a cut under my eye, and the umpire came to the dugout and he said that you're out of here. And I said, me? Why? Why am I thrown out? And he says, look at you. And I said,
I could imagine all your kids and your family. I think the birthday might be tomorrow.
Yeah.
It might be. That was nice. I mean, because I was there young. I was there in Baerga. I was there in 1989. It was in the summer. It was in Chase Stadium. I think you were with the Reds. Rob Debo hitting Juan Samuel, I think it was, or Kevin Elster, or Tim Tuffle. I don't know who it was.
Tim Tuffle. He hit Tim Tuffle in the back.
And I remember because every time in the summer, I used to come to New York from Puerto Rico, and Tony Perez is the godfather of my older brother. So we always stay with Tony. We go to the hotel. We stay with him, blah, 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 blah. Go to the game. And I remember him saying that day we met P. Rose, and I remember P. Rose was already, the investigation was starting to go through the commissioner and all this stuff. So P was, his mind was everywhere else except the game. But I do remember he's saying, "Hey, you going to the game? You guys going? Yeah, we're going." I think I was 12 or something. And he goes, "Well, buckle up. Things happen in Chase Stadium with the Reds."
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was something. It was something brewing before that because I mean they
Well,
acted. Tony and Pete
yeah.
acted like they knew there was something was going to happen.
Well, you know, in Cincinnati, we had a fight against the Reds in Cincinnati when Eric Davis and Ray Knight, and I think that was in 1986. And then in Cincinnati, I think Dibble hit Tuffle or Juan Samuel. I don't know who he hit in Cincinnati, and they were pretty mad about that. And then when we got to New York, Dibble hit a Tuffle right in the middle of the back. I mean, he just smoked him pretty good. And Tuffle had enough. And Tuffle's one of the nicest guys in the world you ever want to meet. And for Timmy to get mad and go after him out, and then all hell broke loose. And then Dibble and Norm Charlton, they're just crazy. They're just everybody. So that's part of the game. That's part of the game. You don't see that no more, right, Carlos? To protect your players.
No.
If you pitch inside, everybody wants to fight. You know what?
No. The thing is, now you cannot fight. If you look somebody wrong, the league find you.
Yeah.
You know, that's something right now. It's like the other day, this guy's lying second base, and the second baseman taking away, pushing him, taking away on him, and he tells the umpire calling out, still calling out, and he pushes the shortstop, pissed off.
And that was in the Cleveland game, right?
Yeah,
the Cleveland
game.
Yeah, Adam Eaton.
For that, he got suspended today. Stuff like that. It wasn't a punch throw out, stuff like that. But the game has changed so much, man. All the fines that they're giving to the players, like last year, like Carlos Correa and against the pitcher for the Dodgers, because the guy looked at him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Fines 5 days suspended. Hey. Why suspended? No punch throw or anything like that. So I don't know what's going on, man. It's kind of crazy. John, you are unbelievable, man, pitcher. That I had the opportunity to watch you did your job, saving games and stuff like that. You did it with the Cincinnati. You did it with the New York Mets, and I know that you always want to win that World Series. That everybody won. That World Series against the Yankees, especially in your hometown, had to be the best moment of your career.
Yeah, it was really special because it hasn't happened for so many years. 2 New York teams playing in the World Series, and the whole city kind of just like shut down. I mean, everywhere you went, everybody was watching the games, everybody was talking about it. There was so much enthusiasm, so much electricity in the air that everybody just loved it. And you remember, Carlos, when we were driving over from Shea Stadium to Yankee Stadium, the police escorts and everything like that are going there. It was just great. The crowds were very, very good, and the New York fans were great. Both Met fans and the Yankee fans during the World Series. Unfortunately, we lost, but it was a great experience for me to be there, and for my family to see me there, and for my friends, and for the organization. We got to the World Series. Maybe if we win Game 1, and maybe things could, we had a chance to win Game 1, and we didn't win Game 1. Who knows? It could have been different. We could have split 1-1 at Yankee Stadium, and then come back to Shea Stadium. But that's the way the game is. You play one game at a time, one inning at a time, one at bat at a time, and you never know what's going to happen.
John, I mean, you were able at least to play in the playoff. The 2 times that you played in the playoff, 2-0, 1.88 ERA. I mean, you did your job. I mean, you can't ask for anything else than just have a chance to play, plus do good. I mean, you want to win, of course, but at least at the end of your career, you want to say, hey, at least I did my job. It didn't come through. But how you felt when your first time in the battle for the Hall of Fame? Yeah. I was pissed off. Seriously, and I'm still pissed off because I think the way you did it. I mean, one guy that is in the Hall of Fame right now, and it's nothing against them or whatever, but I think Lee Smith, his last 5 or 6 years, he was able to just be with a bad team and just save games. Save game. Don't worry about it. You could have a 3.90, 4 ERA. Don't worry. Just save as many games as you can. But you had to deal with, you were always, fighting to try to battle with teams that in the division that was tough and all that. And I think that should be taken in consideration. 400 save is something that only 6 guys have been able to do it. And with your stuff, you're not an overpowered guy. You check out the other guys; they all have great great things to do. Grew fastball for a while. I mean, how do you make you feel that just you were only there and you got only 4.6% of the ballot?
Yeah, I was disappointed because if you look at the Hall of Fame, the Hall of Fame is about numbers, right? So numbers, you got numbers: 300 home runs, or 500 home runs, 300 wins, 3,000 hits. Those are numbers that guys get into the Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. The guys who are in the Hall of Fame now, or right before when I was on the list, they had 300 saves, maybe less than 300 saves. I have 400 saves, and being a left-hander in the history of the game, the number one,
the only one.
The game, I mean, it's just a little lack of respect, I think, and hopefully, I still got a chance with the Veterans Committee when they can vote guys in. I think it's next year, and I'm hoping that being that Lee Smith got in now, I think it might help me with an opportunity to get in now. So we'll just have to wait and see. I'm in every Hall of Fame but that one. So let's just hopefully that the Veterans Committee. I look at it, if there's a certain number that each category where a player gets into the Hall of Fame, like I said earlier, 500 home runs, 300 wins, 2,000 strikeouts, whatever the numbers are. Yeah. I think I deserve to be in there. So
I don't know, man. I just feel like they use the number one way when it's certain people. They use another way when it's certain. Because for me, Bernie Williams too should have stayed a little longer and give it a little more break. But at least you and Carlos Delgado, big shame. Big shame. It's like they use the number whatever way they wanted to use it. And you had no chance to help yourself no matter what. A lot of people say, well, Delgado, it's a Latino. Yeah, what John Franco is, a Mexican or something? Come on. He speaks English.
My brother's Julio Franco, so
That's a good one.
This guy is a funny guy, man. I'm telling you. I remember every time we fly to different places, I was in the back of the plane and we was joking around, smiling the whole way through California, from New York to California. We have fun. It was a fun time to play with you, man. It was awesome. Yes. I say, man, you are the number 5, the best reliever on the game. Mariano Rivera, Trevor Hoffman, Lee Smith, Francisco Rodriguez, and John Franco. They only left
game at Shea Stadium.
In there, relievers, unbelievable. He played in 1,919 games, 424 saves, 975 K, 9.89 ERA, Palito. That's amazing. 9.89. Those numbers are unbelievable. You have to be, for us, you're a Hall of Fame, and it's an honor to have you tonight with us. It's been great, fun, like always.
Thanks.
I really like it.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate being here. It's always good to see you, Carlos. It's been a long time, so hopefully we run into each other somewhere along the lines. Now that you're living in Atlanta now, right? That's what you were saying?
Yes.
Maybe we'll run into each other somewhere along the lines, but continued success on your show. And, let's just watch baseball and have a good time doing it.
I see you in the Gallo Alfonso ceremony for the Hall of Fame.
Okay, yes, in July, right? In July, yes. I'll see you guys.
So, John, have fun, and hopefully one day we could see you somewhere. I don't know, coach or something. Because I think you'll be great for the game.
Yes.
But we do understand that the new baseball is kind of like John was not a 97, 9800. We don't have to. He's not going to be able to help. But
it's what you have here. Big heart. You gotta have a heart.
There you go. So nice seeing you, my man. Nice meeting you, and hopefully, we could see you in the Hall of Fame soon, my man.
Okay, you guys take care.
You, brother.
Take care.
God bless you.
Well, ahí, señores, teníamos a John Franco. Para mí, Baerga, es más, si no lo ponían en el Salón de la Fama, que por lo menos tuviera en la boleta, por lo menos unos 6 o 7 años, para de verdad darle el break y estudiarlo bien. Pero yo creo que el comité de veteranos, como él dijo, después de Lee Smith y lo de Harold Baines, yo creo que él cae en ese lugar donde lo pueden estudiar bien y decir, mano, este hombre, porque hasta cuando a él lo removieron de closer, Baerga, él todavía tiraba 2 entradas. Él todavía hacía muchas cosas para ayudar a su equipo a ganar. Y por eso es que fue el capitán, como él dice, ustedes lo respetaban cuando jugaron con él. Por eso fue el capitán, un hombre que no pichaba todos los días.
Billy, oye, de verdad que John Franco era increíble. La misma velocidad, siempre la vi, la misma, no cambió nada. Lo mismo el aire, ahí tuviste ponchar. ¿Cuántos ponches tuviste de Baribón? No fueron muchos los que tuviste.
Sí, no, y ese
ahí
fue
en poncharlo. Este hombre sabía quitarle, ponerle, tirar la bajita, tirar el buen cambio, un buen slider, sabía lanzar. Y sí, también Billy Warner va a estar en el salón. Para mí tiene que estar en el Salón de la Fama porque
no le están dando mucho amor tampoco. Exacto, no le están dando mucho amor, pero por lo menos sí lo han dejado. Pero es lo mismo. Billy tiraba sobre 100 millas.
Sí, eso
por
es
si
otra
acaso,
cosa.
señores, el primer turno mío en la Liga Invernal de Puerto Rico fue contra Santurce y Billy Wagner fue el que me ponchó, que fue a Puerto Rico como abridor con Santurce. Y me dieron ese turno porque era chiquito, el que estaba en la loma, es un chiquito. Pero cuando llegué al cajón de bateo allí en el ámbito, estaba duro. Era chiquito, tan nada. Pero es eso. Yo creo que como él no tiraba duro, era un tipo que, créeme, señores, vamos a hacer todo lo posible por tratar de conseguir todas las peleas de John Franco, porque John Franco estuvo envuelto en un montón, pero no era que él las empezaba, sino que era que él era parte del equipo. Y señores, del Bronx, ¿qué ustedes creen?
Siempre estaba él.